name is Beforedawn, and first I'm going to showcase the farming deck that I'm using for Zane level 40. This will also work for the underground special event for whenever he pops up, but that already gives you 5,000 free points. So as you can see, I'm setting up an unhappy girl and spirit barrier farm. I was fortunate enough to get both in my opening hand for this farm. The last time that we had this event, Guns Blazing used a Spirit Barrier and Legendary Fisherman farm that will also require a Legendary Ocean. Yubel is also able to do this farm, but Spirit Barrier is completely necessary because Zane has a monster that can attack you directly and it can go back to his hand. Once you have the indestructible monster and spirit barrier out, then the farm is complete as Zane cannot hurt you in any way. So you can try using any of those three monsters and see which one works best for you based on what cards you have and what skills you have to make it consistent. Skills you can use include Draw Sense Light, Draw Sense High Level, and Draw Sense Water, etc. Reinforcement. As you can see in my hand, I have Gate Guardian and UFO Roid, so I'm going to be fusion summoning UFO Roid Fighter to help give Union Vassal the necessary lethal damage. If you don't have UFO Roid Fighter, you can also fusion summon Elemental Hero Neos Knight, which is another really high attack fusion monster. If you don't want to try fusing at all, you can also go for Golden Ladybug and Winged Dragon of Ra. Altogether, this gives you 3 different ways to stall and 3 different ways to inflict lethal damage. Zane's deck is pretty easy to farm, so there's a lot of room for able to being customized your deck. Now to talk about the new event cards. The new fusion monster is like a mix between Red Eye Slash and with Sage for Hire. It can negate and destroy cards an unlimited amount of times, but you have to give up an equip card each time, so it won't always be easy to afford. Also, summoning it requires 5 Cyberdark monsters. You're almost required to use Future Fusion or Cybernetic Fusion support, so it's a little inconsistent. Next, we also have Cyberdark Cannon and Claw. Both of these are level 3 dragons, so they work as equipped with the machine Cyberdarks. Both of them have 3 similar effects. Cannon can discard itself to search any Cyberdark from the deck, so you can discard it, search, summon that monster, and instantly equip Cannon to it. If Cannon dies as an equip, you can draw a card, so you can combine it with Parallel Twister. Also, anytime the equipped monster fights, you can mill any monster from your deck. This is good for setting up the fusion and potentially good enough as a tech engine for other decks. The other one, Claw, isn't as useful. It can search only Cyberdark spells, so we only have that one Cyberdark polymerization. It mills from the extra deck instead of the main deck, so you can build 5-headed dragon and equip it to Cyberdarkness for a 7,000 attack fusion, but that's pretty much it. Next, Zane also gets a new skill. The Cyber Style skill just got nerfed, and now it's almost completely unusable after it's been so dominant since the last Zane event. With that skill nerf, Zane has pretty much lost all meta relevance, and this new skill for the event isn't that much helpful at all. It's called Cyberdark Style, and it can be used each time your life points drop by 1800, which is just way too high, and it's a draw sense for Cyberdark monsters, and draw sense skills are just absolutely terrible. This is a new mini box called Power of Bravery that's coming out on October 22nd. The cover card is Power Tool Dragon, which is Leo's best card, and they never bothered to include a single copy in the starter deck, so they wasted mini box Ultraverse slot on it. That said, it's more underrated than it seems, and it's the best level synchro right now for level 7. If you use tuners, it's worth using just for the sake of making it whenever you can. As a card, I've used it in the TCG, and it's really fun to play. adding Gravity Blaster or Mage Power to my hand each turn. I enjoyed it a lot, and it's not terrible, but it also doesn't do that much. The next card is Buster Whelp of Destruction Swordsman, and this card is one you probably want 2 or 3 of. Whenever you summon it, you can add 1 Destruction Sword card from your deck, and we already have some of those from past boxes, which are other kinds of this dragon, which serves as equips to Buster Blader, but perhaps the best one is going to be Destruction Swordsman Fusion, which is also in this box. This card is like a super polymerization in that it's a quick play, so you can use it during the battle phase or during the opponent's turn, and it can also use the opponent's monsters to help fusion summon your Buster Blader fusion. So you can combine it with DNA Surgery to turn all of your opponents into dragons, and you can start fusing with them. So this card, Buster Whelp, single-handedly searches that card, also is a tuner, and can help make for the fusion summon of this card. So this card can single-handedly possibly make Buster Blader tier 3 or higher. The final ultra rare card is Memory of an Adversary. It's a very cool card, but I wouldn't use up gems just to get this card because it's pretty slow and it's more trouble than it's worth in a normal deck. I can see making cool combos with it using Prime Material Dragon or Rainbow Life. In the end, I'd rather just use Widespread Ruin or Wall Disruption for protection traps. Next we have the Morphtronic monsters. Leo already dropped some of them because they're his cards, but Morphtronic Smartphone is the only really notable card that you can get. Here, some of these cards are also pretty good. Morphtronic Accelerator is definitely the best Morphtronic card, as it can pop anything and then it can rearrange your hand. Morphtronic Radion is only an R card, which surprised me. I thought it would be super rare, but it comes at 1800, 1900, and it boosts all other Morphtronic monsters. So it's just really good as a Morphtronic monster, and just as a general strong Thunder monster. Also, we have Morphtronic Remoten. This card is actually already in the game as part of Leo's Courage and Bravery skill, which also adds power to a dragon to his deck. So now with these cards coming as individual cards, that skill is completely worthless now. As an overall deck, Morphtronics are really fun with their multiple effects that you can use both within each turn, but they lack really any solid, strong play to really make them a meta-defining deck. Next, we have the Scrap cards, which used to be a really fearsome synchro-based deck in the TCG. They have some of their core cards in the set, most notably Chimera, and there's also Scrap Searcher and Scrap Store. They have effects based off destroying themselves and then coming back, but they only have one synchro monster that comes in this box, so without any of their more notable synchro monsters, they're just kind of weak and not relevant at all. And the next other really big archetype that this box brings are the Vylons. The Vylons already have had some cards in past boxes, and they've always been a bit of a meme, but with their new synchro monsters, they might actually be a bit consistent. Their equipped spells usually revolve around destroying themselves, and then you can continue to search more and more to help pay for your effects, such as the synchro monster Vylon Epsilon, and you can also use it with Parallel Twister. Also, Vylon Epsilon being level 8 is a little bit awkward to summon with the level 3 tuners that they have, which are good tuners, but you might need to use powerful rebirths and synchro boost to help get them to level 8, otherwise you'd just be making the level 7 synchro Vylon Sigma. All in all, they seem like they have a good hit, they just might lack consistency a bit. So they just might end up acting just like the vampire deck, only just not as consistent.